So for millions of people all over the world, the season of Lent is a really important time for reflection and discipline. But have you ever noticed that the entire season is built around one very specific number?
40. Yeah, 40 days. Have you ever just stopped and wondered, why 40? It's so precise. Is that just a random number someone picked, or is there something much deeper going on here? Well, as we're about to find out, when it comes to the Bible, 40 is never just a number.
You see, the number 40 is kind of like a code in the scriptures. Whenever it pops up, it's like a big flashing sign that says, pay attention, something important is happening. It almost always signals a significant period of preparation, of testing, and ultimately, of transformation. It's like a spiritual rite of passage is about to begin.
And once you start looking for it, you see this pattern everywhere. Think about it. The Great Flood, it rained for 40 days. Moses up on Mount Sinai, he fasted for 40 days. The Israelites wandering in the desert, that took 40 years. Goliath taunted Israel for 40 straight days. And of course, the big one, the ultimate example for Lent, Jesus' 40 days of temptation out in the wilderness.
And get this, the connection is literally baked right into the name. The old Latin term for this season is quadragesima. And what does that mean? It means 40th. So it's not just some casual label, it's a declaration that this is that special time set aside for profound change.
Okay, so we've got all these biblical examples, but out of all of them, which one is the one that serves as the direct blueprint for the season of Lent as we know it today? It all comes back to Jesus' 40 days of fasting in the desert. The Gospels tell us this was his own intense period of preparation and spiritual testing, right before he kicked off his public ministry. This experience right here, this is the blueprint for the entire season. But how did you get from one person's experience in the desert to a formal season that's observed by the entire church? Well, as you can probably guess, a tradition like this didn't just appear out of nowhere. It actually took centuries to take shape. It really grew over time. Way back in the 2nd century, early Christians would just observe short fasts for maybe a day or two before Easter. The huge turning point, though, was in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea. That's when church leaders made it official and formally recognized a 40-day season of preparation. Now, through the medieval period, things got very structured, with super strict rules on things like meat and dairy. But more recently in the 20th century, the focus has really shifted back toward what it's all about, personal spiritual growth over just following a bunch of external rules.
So what does this spiritual growth actually look like in practice? Well, the church provides a fantastic framework for it built on 3 core disciplines. They're often called the 3 pillars of Lent.
And those 3 pillars are prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. It's a really powerful trio. Think of it this way. Prayer is about your relationship with God. Fasting is about clearing out the clutter in your own life, getting rid of distractions to make more room for God. And almsgiving is about turning all that inner work outward through charity and helping other people.
Now, this brings us to probably the most common question people have about Lent today. When we hear fasting, we immediately think about giving something up, right? Like chocolate or coffee. But what's the real point?
The goal really isn't about proving how strong your willpower is by skipping a favorite snack. It's about looking at your life and intentionally removing the things, the obstacles, the bad habits, the attachments that are getting in the way of your relationship with God. It's all about creating freedom. And this is where the idea of fasting gets really expansive. It could mean fasting from gossip and negative talk, or maybe from holding on to resentment and unforgiveness. What about fasting from the constant noise and distraction of social media? It could even be about letting go of pride, or our constant need for more material things. The key is to identify what's truly standing in your way. Okay, so for those of you who've been counting along this whole time, you might have noticed a little problem with the math.
Right, because if you actually pull out a calendar and count the days from Ash Wednesday when Lent starts, all the way to Holy Saturday before Easter, you get 46 days, not 40. So what is going on here?
Well, the answer lies in the Sundays. You see, from the very beginning of the church, every single Sunday is a celebration of the resurrection. They're like mini Easters every week. So even during the reflective season of Lent, Sundays are still days of joy and they aren't counted among the 40 days of penance. So you subtract those 6 Sundays and you land exactly on 40.
So when we put all of this together, what is the ultimate purpose of this whole 40-day journey?
I think St. Augustine captured the whole idea just perfectly. He said, "Do you wish your prayer to fly toward God? Give it 2 wings, fasting, and almsgiving. He totally understood that these 3 pillars aren't just separate tasks on a checklist. They're designed to work together, to lift you up.
At the end of the day, Lent isn't meant to be some grim, gloomy obligation. It's an annual invitation. It's a 40-day gift of time that's set aside for us to hit the reset button, to find our center again, and to really prepare our hearts for the joy of Easter.
And that leaves us with one final thought. This 40-day period of testing and preparation isn't just an ancient story. It's a living invitation that comes around every year. So the real question is, what transformation could 40 days bring to you? If you found this explainer helpful, inspiring, entertaining, and informative, please share it, give it a like, and subscribe. Keep an eye out for the next upload. Thank you.